Hey, howdy, hi, hello, hola, привет, bonjour, guten Tag. What is up, Vikings? So, recently, about, maybe 9-10 days ago, the streamer Synthesizer did a test where they noticed some differences and incongruities in onslaughts on towns that all had the same tier and troop type in them that didn't necessarily match town strength. We've discussed this on my live videos recently. This is like my view on this. I did translate everything that Synthesizer did. This video will have 3 parts. I will do an English presentation of it because it is on PowerPoint. There will be chapters underneath, and then there will be a Russian presentation also of the information. And then finally, there will be a breakdown where I will overlay the camera back on the presentation and step by step break it down, as well as add like what Amber and I noticed in recent onslaughts on towns in Jotunheim that confirms the information from Synthesizer. So I hope you guys like this. I hope you enjoy it. Drop in the comments, of course, what you think of this. If you guys like this format, I might be able to do it again in the future for breakdown and analytical information. Also, if you have not already, hit the like and the subscribe button. And if you can, check out the GoFundMe, which is pinned in the link below underneath this video. So, with all of that being said, we'll get right to the English presentation of this information, and then again the Russian, and finally the breakdown. Hello. Okay, so those were the two presentations, the one in English and obviously the one in Russian. I will be using the English presentation for this breakdown and explaining more in depth what you guys saw. And then also in this breakdown, I will include what Amber and I noticed in Jotunheim, storming towns with our clan, that supports this information that Synthesizer and his clan uncovered, SPQRF. So, with that being said, we'll kind of get into this. So the big thing is like the test team. That's the first thing that you guys noticed. It is the same 10 accounts in every onslaught. The same exact 10. Same boost, same gear, same troop type, same tier. It is important to note that, as like any of those things can differ very or greatly. So same town skins that they had on for every single onslaught. Same boosts. Same exact gear. Shaman were not changed except for one person, which we will get to that. Again, every single one of these, is the same exact onslaught. Same target. Every single player joins with 200 million exactly. So there's no variation of degree there. It's not 201 on one, 215 on another, 250 on a third. It is 200 mil exactly in every single onslaught. Every onslaught had the same exact onslaught setter. So every storm setter was the exact same all the way through. And then, so in this one, as we see, let me change something here. I will drop you down to here. Okay. So this chart shows the account strength. The players are arranged from account strength in this. Of course, Synthesizer's account being the strongest, player Bluff being the weakest. It shows their stats of T7 and T8 both. So you can see kind of like how it was broken down by strength, giving the total of strength as well as the total of health, offense, and defense. And then, so this first onslaught, unsuccessful. As you can see, let me move this down to here. Okay, so the first onslaught, unsuccessful T7 OS. In account strength, going down from 1 to 0. It shows Synthesizer the strongest, got the most shards. But then the nonsense kicks in of where we see the shard amounts start to vary greatly. So Synthesizer got 12.8 million, and then second strongest got 2.8, third strongest 2.9, fourth strongest 7.7, and then the others vary in between. So that's the nonsense that he talks about. Where most people would attribute the amount of shards, points, kills, whatever, even the amount of troops that you lost to the account strength, this shows that it varies greatly. Like, it just doesn't make sense purely looking at the account strength at all. So then we have the second one, second onslaught unsuccessful with T8. Every player had 200 million T8 in this. Again, Synthesizer got the most shards. And then as you look down this, you see like the second strongest account, Michelle, got 6.2. And then the third strongest account, Grandfather, got 13.8. Fourth strongest account got 42.9. Fifth strongest account, 63.1. So, like, again, the shards earned vary and not necessarily following the format of strongest account. So then you have the third onslaught of T8, 200 mil every single player, and this is where they broke. This is a successful onslaught. And then so the shards recorded are also the losses of the players in the onslaught. So again, by account strength, Synthesizer, 145 million shards, 0 losses. Michelle, the second strongest account, 9.2 million shards and 160 million. So she got her 20% back. So 160 million on the success is what she lost. So she lost, 80% of her march. Third strongest account, 25 million shards, 160 million losses. Fourth strongest account, 120 million shards, 30 million losses. And then, finally, the fourth onslaught successful with T7. Every player 200 million. This time with Synthesizer wearing Inga. So no military boosts at all on Inga. Like, no troop boost. There's no decreasers. There's no troop buffs in general. T7 with Inga. You see Synthesizer again, the strongest account, getting 20 million shards and having 0 losses on the successful onslaught. Michelle, the second strongest account, 4 million shards and 160 million losses. So again, she lost 80% of her march, even though Synthesizer had on Inga and she had on a troop-specific shaman. So then we break this down by... One second. And we break this down by this chart right here. So, compiling all of the test results onto one table, It doesn't matter how you twist this, like how you sort this. The troop losses on success are the same in T7 and T8. The unsuccessful onslaughts show the same information as the successful ones. The same individuals got less shards, lost all of their troops, regardless, got less shards consistently all the way through, successful or non. And of course, on an unsuccessful, everyone loses their troops. So, again, it's not really clear of understanding the mechanics on the battle calculation. The shard count just doesn't make sense at all. And then it's not clear why the same players die consistently in successful onslaughts every time. But then we go to the next one. Decided to add another indicator that could possibly break this down, and that is ID. The game ID, 1 being the newest, 10 being the oldest. So Synthesizers, as we can see in this, Synthesizers is the newest ID in the game, or in their clan in this Onslaught set. Michelle being the oldest. So, this chart right here sorts it by oldest to newest game ID. And then the chart makes sense. Consistently, the oldest ID loses more troops and gains less shards in successful onslaughts on a town where every troop type is the exact same and the tier is the exact same. Like, looking at this sorted by account strength, if you look down from the top to the bottom, the oldest accounts get the less shards consistently, to where the newer accounts, on successful, the newer accounts in here, like going all the way down to this section right in here, the newer accounts, even with like Synthesizer wearing Inga, had 0 losses and got significantly like 5 to almost 10 times the amount of shards of the older ID accounts. Now, the order of this shows that in an onslaught, what it's doing is it's ordering by hit. Your ID will start to factor in what order your troops hit in. It's not necessarily giving the newer IDs an advantage, so to say, as much as it is ordering the battles. The older accounts, the older IDs, it is pushing to the front, so they fight first. Of course, in an onslaught, as we know, the onslaught setter, their troops always hit first. The storm setter always takes the hit. They consistently get less shards, lose more troops, unless they have a significantly higher march size than everybody else. But this shows us the battle order of the onslaught means that if you have an older ID and you join, the older the ID, the sooner your troops will hit. So, meaning like it doesn't matter where you join an onslaught in the order of battle calculation, the older the ID will mean the sooner your troops will hit. So that's what this arrow is explaining. The game mechanic puts it in order, and then of course the newer IDs get more shards, because it's like when we see in scouting, if you hit over and over and over again, you'll see your shards start to climb because there's less troop saturation in what you're hitting. It's the same for calculating the mechanics on a town onslaught. The older your ID, the sooner you're going to hit. The newer your ID, you're going to get more shards and less death, especially on a successful onslaught, because of the simple fact that there's less troops there in the town by the time your troops reach the hitting point. And like one thing about this information is like what we were talking about yesterday on the live stream. Amber and I joined a onslaught in Jotunheim this last time, a bows onslaught, and I'm a ranged player. Amber's a cavalry player. My ranged gear is maxed. Amber's cavalry gear is like 13s, 14s on Shaman, 15s and 14s on Hero, but she does not have ranged gear. In this instance, of course, like the troop types or the troop amount we were sending varied, and it was a clan OS in Jotunheim. I had a ranged repute. She had a cavalry repute. So she was sending ranged troops with cavalry gear, so wrong gear for the troop type. She had a cavalry repute, so wrong repute for the troop type. She did not have a ranged Asiron, and my achievement levels are slightly higher. She also does not have ranged bonus town skins. All of her town skins are focused on cavalry. All of mine are focused on ranged. So like what that means is essentially I'm a stronger ranged player than she is with the way her account is set up. Now, a lot of people would be like, well then Bones, you're going to hit harder. Well, that would be ideal. I mean, that's what everything would say, is that account strength wise, my ranged are higher than hers. Mine are stronger. But consistently in these onslaughts, we saw her getting 3 to 4 times more shards than I did, using my main troop type. Looking at our IDs, her game ID starts with 4-9. Mine starts with 1-6, meaning it supports the claim of Synthesitor's test showing that the older IDs fight first. So by the time her ranged troops were hitting in the onslaught, it was after mine had hit and died, and there was less troops in the town. So this shows like the mechanics of the OS. I mean, and it shows me that Synthesitor's tests are absolutely spot on. Now, the end screen where it shows how can we live with this information, what this comes down to is if we want Polarium to essentially change this, that means we need to write support. If we find this mechanic not to our liking, that means we need to write support and ask them to change this battle mechanic. As it is, the older IDs in battle order of an onslaught are hitting before newer IDs. It doesn't matter for account strength. Account strength is not factored into this. Merely in the order of game IDs is how the onslaught mechanic chooses who fights next. Meaning that older players, even if like the newer players are stronger than you or stronger than the older players' account in general, the newer players are hitting after the older player accounts in the battle order of mechanics. Meaning the older account will still go through way more troops and get less shards. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked this. Again, please let me know in the comments what you thought of this. Hit the like and the subscribe button. I know it's a lot of information to take in at once. But let me know what you guys kind of think of this in the comments below. Check out the GoFundMe account. Please hit the like and the subscribe button. Have an awesome rest of your guys' week. And I will see you around in the community and on the next video and live. Thanks for watching.